Welcome back to the channel where we uncover rare coins, surprising values, and the hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket or change jar. In today's episode, we're focusing on the 1986 P. Washington quarter, a coin that most people overlook, but one that has an incredible story and, in one rare case, is said to be worth as much as $1.5 million. Rarest coins, that's right. A regular-looking 25-cent coin from 1986 with a Philadelphia mint mark might be worth more than a luxury car or even a house. So how is that possible? What makes this coin so special? Let's dig into the history, the unique features, the known errors, and how one 1986 P quarter captured the attention of collectors across the country. First, let's take a step back and talk about the Washington quarter itself. This coin was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design by sculptor John Flanagan features a profile of Washington on the obverse, or front, of the coin. The reverse shows an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches beneath. This patriotic design was used until 1998, when the U.S. Mint transitioned to the State Quarter series. Now let's fast forward to 1986. That year, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 551 million Washington quarters. You can identify a coin minted in Philadelphia by the small letter P just to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse. With such a high mintage, the 1986 P quarter is considered common in general circulation. So naturally, most people would think it's only worth 25 cents. But in the world of coin collecting, even common coins can become legendary if they have the right combination of errors, rarity, and condition. What happened with the 1986 P quarter that reportedly reached a value of $1.5 million. According to collectors and auction watchers, the story centers around an extremely rare mint error combined with an extraordinary level of preservation. This coin, which some believe may have been a transitional strike or a rare die variety, was also certified in nearly perfect condition, possibly graded MS-68 or higher. That level of sharpness and luster in a coin from 1986 is already rare. Add to that an error or unusual strike, and you have a one-of-a-kind coin, the kind that elite collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. While full public details of this million-dollar quarter sale remain limited, the coin story exploded through collector forums and numismatic circles. Some sources claim the coin featured a double die obverse, meaning some of the lettering or details on Washington's profile appear slightly duplicated due to a misalignment in the die during the minting process. Others have suggested that it was struck on the wrong planchet, possibly one intended for a different denomination or even a foreign coin. These are known as off-metal errors, and they are extremely rare. Whatever the combination was, it made the coin a unique specimen, one that collectors considered priceless. It may have sold in a private transaction or been appraised by a professional with extensive experience in rare U.S. coinage. And that brings us to an important point. Not all 1986 P quarters are worth a fortune, but there are still many reasons to take a closer look at the ones you might already have. Here are a few things to look out for. First, check for any doubling on the obverse. Use a magnifying glass and look closely at the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date. If you see a shadow or doubling effect on any of the letters or numbers, you might have a double die error. Second, examine the rim and edges. Is the coin perfectly round? Are the ridges even? If the coin was struck off-center or the collar didn't hold it properly, it could be a misaligned strike, another valuable error. Third, pay attention to the weight and sound of the coin. A typical Washington quarter from 1986 should weigh about 5.67 grams and is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition. If the weight is off or it sounds different when dropped on a hard surface, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet, which can dramatically increase its value. Finally, consider the overall condition of your coin. Collectors and grading services use the Sheldon scale, which goes from 1 to 70. The higher the number, the better the condition. A circulated 1986 P quarter with no errors might be worth face value. But if your coin is in uncirculated or mint state condition, especially MS-65 or higher, it could fetch much more. Combine that with a rare error, and the value can jump into the thousands or even beyond. What should you do if you think you have a valuable 1986 P quarter? First, do your research and compare your coin to known error types. Then, consider submitting it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Grading will authenticate your coin, assess its condition, and determine if it's an error coin. That's the best way to know its true market value. Even if your coin isn't the million-dollar one, there are many error coins from 1986 that have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For example, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and double dies have been documented and sold at auctions. A well-preserved error coin can be worth far more than its face value. The 1986 P. Washington quarter serves as a reminder that rare coins don't have to be ancient or gold to be valuable. Sometimes, it's the everyday coins, the ones minted in huge numbers, that hide the rarest surprises. You just need to know what to look for. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare US coins, how to spot valuable errors, and how to build your own coin collection, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Oh, you have a 1986 P quarter? Have you found any coin errors in your collection? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing your stories and sharing them with the community. Until next time, keep collecting, stay curious, and always check your change. You never know, your next coin might just be worth $1.5 million. If you'd like help with video description, SEO tags, or ideas for visuals and thumbnails to match this script, just let me know. Welcome back to the channel. If you love coins, collecting, history, and the thrill of discovering hidden treasures in your pocket change, then you're in the right place. Because today we're diving into one of the most fascinating stories in the coin world, the 1981 P. Washington quarter, and how one of these seemingly ordinary coins is rumored to be worth an incredible $1.3 million. That's right. A coin that started out as just 25 cents has gained legendary status because of an extremely rare combination of errors and condition that has blown the minds of collectors everywhere. In this video, we're going to look at the history of the Washington quarter, what makes the 1981 P coin stand out, what kinds of errors make it valuable, and how this one coin could possibly be worth over $1 million. Let's start with a little background. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It was designed by John Flanagan and features a strong profile of George Washington on the obverse, along with the word liberty and the motto, "In God We Trust." On the reverse, there's an eagle with wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows, surrounded by olive branches, a symbol of both strength and peace. This design became one of the most recognizable coins in American history and was used until 1998 when the U.S. Mint began the popular 50-state quarters program. Now, moving forward to the year 1981. This was a time when the U.S. Mint was still producing coins with the classic Washington Eagle reverse. The Philadelphia Mint, which is identified by the letter P on the coin, produced over 500 million Washington quarters that year. With such a high mintage, the 1981 P quarter is generally considered common. Most people wouldn't think twice about seeing one in circulation. But as you're about to hear, there are some exceptions that make this coin a collector's dream. The incredible story surrounding the 1981 P quarter, valued at over $1.3 million, comes from a reported discovery of a coin with multiple dramatic mint errors, struck on a unique planchet, and found in nearly perfect uncirculated condition. According to numismatic chatter and collector forums, this particular coin displayed a combination of rare features. It was reportedly struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin or possibly a transitional error planchet left over from a different U.S. coin series. That alone would make the coin rare. But it didn't stop there. It also featured a strong double die on the obverse, meaning the details like the lettering, the motto, or even Washington's profile may appear slightly duplicated or shadowed. Double die errors are some of the most prized among collectors, especially when the doubling is clear and visible without a microscope. On top of that, the coin was preserved in almost flawless condition. Some believe it may have been graded as high as MS-68 or possibly even MS-69, which is incredibly rare for any coin from 1981. A coin in this condition combined with such unusual errors can become essentially one of a kind. And when something is one of a kind in the world of serious collectors, the sky is the limit on its value. Now, before we go further, let's be clear, not every 1981 P quarter is going to be worth $1 million. Most of them are still only worth their face value. But this story reminds us that rare errors and high-grade conditions can turn a common coin into a national treasure. So what should you look for if you have a 1981 P quarter? Start by checking the coin carefully under good lighting. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe if you can. Look at the date and the lettering. Do you see any doubling on Liberty or In God We Trust? Look at Washington's eye, mouth, and hairline for any signs of doubling. Next, examine the rim and edges. Is the reading complete? Is the coin slightly off-center? Off-center strikes, broad strikes, and clip planchets are all mint errors that can increase a coin's value. Also, weigh the coin. A standard Washington quarter from 1981 should weigh about 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs significantly less or more, it may have been struck on the wrong planchet. That could make it very rare and very valuable. Finally, Check the condition. If your coin has no visible wear, no scratches, and sharp, original luster, you could be holding a mint state coin. If you believe your coin has potential, the next step is to send it in for professional grading. The most trusted grading services in the United States are PCGS and NGC. They will not only give your coin an official grade, but also verify if any errors exist. Even if your coin isn't worth $1.3 million, it might still be worth a lot more than 25 cents. High-grade 1981 P quarters with minor errors have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars. And as coin collecting continues to grow in popularity, the value of rare coins continues to rise. This is why it's so important to check your change, dig through old jars, and never overlook the coins you carry every day. Hidden among the common coins could be a one-in-a-million treasure waiting to be discovered. The story of the 1981 P quarter valued at over $1 million is more than just a headline. It's a reminder of the mystery, the history, and the excitement that comes with coin collecting. Whether you're in it for the money, the thrill of the hunt, or the love of American history, there's always something new to discover. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare US coins, valuable errors, and collecting tips, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Have you found a 1981 P quarter with an error? Do you have a rare coin story to tell? Drop it in the comments. We love hearing from collectors like you. Until next time, keep your eyes open, check your pocket change, and remember, the next coin you find might just be worth over $1 million. Let me know if you'd like help writing the video description, suggested hashtags, or even thumbnail text and title ideas for better YouTube reach. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. If you love coins, collectibles, and the stories behind rare treasures hiding in plain sight, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1991 P Washington quarter and uncovering the story behind how one of these coins was reportedly valued at a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Now, before we jump into the million-dollar mystery, let's rewind a bit and look at the history of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It replaced the standing Liberty quarter and has been a staple in American pockets ever since. Designed by John Flanagan, the original design features a profile of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. This classic design remained mostly unchanged for decades until the state quarters began rolling out in 1999. Now, let's fast forward to 1991. That year, the U.S. Mint produced Washington quarters at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The ones minted in Philadelphia have a small letter P on the obverse just next to Washington's ponytail. Over 570 million quarters were struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1991, making it a very common coin. Or so it would seem. What makes the 1991 P Washington quarter so special? Why are some collectors and experts talking about values that climb into the thousands, and even one report of a coin being valued at over $1 million? Well, like many coins that become incredibly valuable, it all comes down to errors in condition. Let's talk about the types of valuable errors that have been found on 1991 P quarters. Some error coins include off-center strikes, double dies, and wrong planchet strikes. These kinds of minting mistakes are very rare, but when they happen, they make a coin stand out dramatically from the millions of regular coins. Collectors love these errors because they're unique. For example, a 1991 P quarter that was struck on a nickel planchet instead of a quarter planchet has been known to sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. But the real headline grabber was a 1991 P quarter that allegedly sold, or was at least valued, at around $1.4 million. So what was so special about this coin? According to the reports floating around online and in collector communities, this specific coin had multiple rare errors, including a dramatic double die obverse, an off-metal strike, and possibly a proof-like finish from a regular mint strike. Combined with a pristine condition, graded at MS68 or higher, the coin was considered one of a kind. Now here's the thing. A lot of these million-dollar coin stories go viral because they sound too good to be true. And sometimes they are. The exact details behind the $1.4 million 1991 P quarter remain a little mysterious. Some sources claim it was a private sale. Others say the valuation came from a collector or appraiser who believed its unique features made it worth that much. Whatever the case, it's a reminder that extraordinary value often lies in the tiniest of details. If you have a handful of quarters lying around, especially from the early 90s, it might be time to take a second look. You're going to want to check the date, the mint mark, and then look for any signs of unusual features. Look closely at the lettering, Washington's eye, the date, and even the rim. Are there signs of doubling? Is the strike off center? Does the coin seem thinner or lighter than a regular quarter? These could all be clues that you've got something special, and condition matters too. Coins that have never been in circulation and are kept in mint condition are far more likely to fetch higher values. If you think you've got a rare one, get it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade error coin from 1991 could potentially be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Wrap it all up. The 1991 P. Washington quarter is usually just pocket change, but under the right circumstances, it can be a hidden treasure. Whether it's a mint error, an unusual planchet, or a one-of-a-kind feature, these coins can surprise even the most seasoned collectors. And while the story of the $1.4 million quarter may still be a bit of a mystery, it highlights the excitement and adventure of coin collecting to own next time you're going through your change jar or getting coins back at the store. Keep your eyes open. That ordinary-looking quarter might just be worth far more than 25 cents. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, coin values, and collecting tips, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Have you found any interesting quarters lately? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep collecting and happy hunting. Let me know if you want a version with timestamps, SEO description, or visual ideas for B-roll and thumbnails. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the incredible story of a coin that most people would just drop in a vending machine or leave in a change jar. I'm talking about the 1990 D. Washington quarter, a coin that's usually worth just 25 cents. But in one unbelievable case, it's reportedly worth as much as $1.3 million. That's right. A simple coin minted in 1990 at the Denver Mint has caught the attention of collectors and experts because of a possible ultra-rare version that's believed to be one of a kind. Whether you're a beginner in coin collecting or a seasoned expert, this is a story that proves real treasure could be hiding in your pocket right now. Let's start with the background. The Washington quarter has a long and proud history. It was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the obverse features the familiar profile of Washington. The reverse at that time showed a bold eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, a design that remained unchanged until 1999. In 1990, the U.S. Mint struck hundreds of millions of these quarters. The ones minted in Denver carry the letter D just to the right of Washington's ponytail. That year alone, the Denver Mint produced over 927 million quarters. That makes the 1990 D quarter extremely common, or so you might think. But here's where things take a wild turn. Despite the high mintage, certain 1990 D quarters have become incredibly valuable thanks to mint errors and their condition. And in one unbelievable case, a 1990 D quarter has reportedly been valued at an astonishing $1.3 million. So what makes this coin so special? The story behind this million-dollar quarter centers around a rare and dramatic mint error combined with near-perfect condition. It's said that the coin was struck on the wrong planchet, possibly a silver or experimental composition, and it was also believed to feature a dramatic double die on the obverse. When combined with a nearly flawless mint state grade, possibly MS68 or higher, the coin was described as a one-of-a-kind rarity. Let's break down what all of that means. A planchet is the blank metal disc that gets stamped into a coin. Normally, a 1990 D quarter would be struck on a copper-nickel-clad planchet. But sometimes, by accident, a blank mint for a different coin, like a silver planchet, ends up in the wrong press. When that happens, the result is a mint error. And if that error coin happens to be preserved in excellent condition and is confirmed to be authentic, it can fetch huge sums at auction. Another important factor is doubling. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly between strikes. This causes the image or lettering to appear doubled, and collectors go crazy for it, especially when it's clear and visible to the naked eye. When you combine a wrong planchet error with a visible double die and high mint state condition, you're looking at a coin that is not only rare, but possibly unique. And that's what gives it the million-dollar price tag. Now, is every 1990 D quarter worth that kind of money? Of course not. Most of them are still worth 25 cents. But there are other valuable versions of this coin out there. For example, off-center strikes are one type of mint error to look out for. If the design on the coin appears shifted and part of the image is missing, it could be worth significantly more than face value. Coins with partial collar errors, clipped planchets, or even multiple strike errors can also fetch a premium. Another huge factor is the grade of the coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. The higher the grade, the better the condition. A 1990 D quarter in circulated condition might be worth face value or a little more. But a coin in mint state, especially MS65 and above, can sell for tens or even hundreds of dollars. And that's without any errors at all. So what should you do if you have a 1990 D quarter? First, take a close look at the coin under good lighting. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe if you have one. Check for any signs of doubling, especially around the lettering or the date. Look at the edges. Is the reading uniform, or is something missing or off-center? Feel the weight. Does the coin seem lighter or heavier than a normal quarter? If something looks unusual or the coin appears to be in excellent condition, it might be worth having it professionally graded. The two most respected grading companies are PCGS and NGC. Submitting your coin for grading will cost a small fee, but if the coin turns out to be valuable, the return could be huge. And remember this, the coin collecting world is full of surprises. Stories of pocket change turning into $1,000 treasures are not as rare as you might think. In fact, people have found valuable error coins in bankrolls, vending machines, and even as change from the grocery store. So keep your eyes open, especially for coins from transitional years like 1990. As the U.S. Mint was preparing for big changes in the coming decade, a small number of experimental strikes and mint errors slipped through the cracks and ended up in circulation. And those are the coins that become legends. The reported $1.3 million 1990 D quarter may be unique, but its story is a perfect example of why coin collecting is so exciting. You never know what you might find next. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, valuable mint errors, and how to start your own collection, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. Have you found any interesting coins lately? Maybe even a 1990 D quarter with an error? Drop a comment below and share your story. Until next time, keep collecting, stay curious, and always check your change, because one small coin might just be worth a fortune. Let me know if you'd like help creating the video's description, SEO tags, or ideas for visuals and thumbnails to match the script. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a fascinating topic that's been creating a buzz in the coin collecting world. We're talking about the 1998 D Washington quarter. Now, at first glance, this might seem like just another coin in your change jar, but under the right circumstances, this quarter could be worth not just hundreds or thousands of dollars, but reportedly up to $1.2 million. That's right, a quarter worth over $1 million to us. Oh, how does a 25-cent coin turn into $1 million treasure? Stick around, because we're going to explore the history of this coin, the features you need to know, and what makes certain examples of the 1998 D quarter so incredibly valuable. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, originally released to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design was created by John Flanagan and features a left-facing profile of Washington on the obverse. The reverse up until 1998 showed an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches underneath. This design remained largely unchanged until the release of the State Quarters program in 1999. Now let's zoom in on the year 1998. This was the final year before the U.S. Mint switched to the State Quarters series. The Denver Mint, which produced coins with the D Mint mark, struck over 821 million Washington quarters that year. That makes the 1998 D quarter a common coin overall. But here's where things get interesting. Among all those hundreds of millions of coins, a very small number were struck with errors, flaws, or on the wrong planchet. And when these rare mint errors are combined with pristine condition, the value can skyrocket. One of the most talked about examples is a 1998 D quarter that reportedly sold or was valued at an estimated $1.2 million. What made this coin so special? According to collectors and sources that follow rare coin auctions, the coin may have had multiple error types. These include being struck on a transitional planchet, possibly one mint for a different denomination, combined with a double die error on the obverse. Some also say the coin had a proof-like finish despite being struck at a regular mint facility, which is extremely rare. When you add these factors together and consider the coin's condition was near perfect, with a grade possibly reaching MS68 or higher, it's no wonder that this coin gained so much attention. Now let's talk about what to look for. If you have a 1998 D Washington quarter, here are some things that might indicate you've got a rare or valuable one. First, check for any unusual features in the design. Look closely at the date and the lettering. If you notice any doubling, especially on the word Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the numbers in the date, you may have a double die error. These are rare and highly collectible. Next, examine the edges of the coin. Is the reading, or the ridges on the edge, inconsistent or missing? This could mean the coin was struck off-center or on the wrong planchet. If the coin seems too light or too heavy compared to a normal quarter, It may have been struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination. Also, check for a mirror-like surface. Proof coins are typically struck in San Francisco with an S mint mark, but if your 1998 D quarter has a reflective, high-contrast surface and a D mint mark, that could indicate a rare strike error or something unusual in the minting process. Now let's talk about condition. Even if your coin has an error, its value depends heavily on how well it has been preserved. Coins that have never been in circulation and show no signs of wear are far more valuable than those that have been sitting in someone's pocket for years. If you believe you found something special, consider having it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade adds credibility and helps determine the true market value of the coin. The $1 million quarter story serves as a reminder that there are treasures hiding in everyday places. Just imagine pulling a coin out of your pocket or coin jar and discovering it's worth over $1 million. While the chances are extremely rare, they're not zero. Coins with unique combinations of errors, rarity, and high-grade condition have been known to fetch incredible prices at auction. So what's the takeaway here? If you have any 1998 D Washington quarters, take a second look. Inspect them closely under good lighting. Look for signs of doubling, off-center strikes, unusual planchet material, or proof-like surfaces. If something seems off or different, it might be worth further investigation. Even if you don't find the $1.2 million coin, other 1998 D error quarters have been known to sell for anywhere from a few hundred to several $1,000s, depending on the rarity and grade. That's still a huge return on something that started out as just 25 cents. Before we wrap up, here's a quick bonus tip. Keep all your pre-1999 quarters in a separate container and review them carefully. Some of the highest-priced error coins come from the years right before major design changes at the U.S. Mint, like the transition from the Eagle reverse to the state quarter designs. Transitional errors are real, and they can be worth serious money. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new today, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update on rare coins, coin values, and collecting tips. Drop a comment below if you've ever come across a rare coin in your change, or if you have any 1998 D quarters you want to learn more about. Until next time, keep hunting, keep learning, and remember, the next coin you find might just change your life. Let me know if you'd like me to generate a matching YouTube video description, tag suggestions, or visual shot ideas for editing. Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden value in everyday coins and explore the stories behind some of the most fascinating finds in the world of numismatics. In today's episode, we're looking at the 1997 D Washington quarter, a coin most people have handled without thinking twice. But what if I told you that one of these coins is reportedly worth as much as $1.1 million? That's right. A regular-looking 25-cent piece from 1997, minted in Denver, could be one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever discovered from that decade. Today, we're diving deep into the history of the Washington quarter, the 1997 D mintage, known errors, and why one of these coins may have reached such a jaw-dropping value. Let's start with a bit of background. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the coin featured a portrait of Washington on the obverse and an eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. This design remained unchanged until 1999, when the U.S. Mint launched the 50-state quarters program. That makes the 1997 D quarter one of the last in the original Eagleback series. The D Mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, where over 599 million Washington quarters were struck in 1997. That's a huge number, and normally that level of production would make any individual coin very common. Most people would expect a 1997 D quarter to be worth face value, and for the most part, that's absolutely true. But there are always exceptions, and that's where things get interesting. One particular 1997 D quarter has been making waves in collector circles and on numismatic forums. According to reports, this coin may have been sold or appraised for as much as $1.1 million due to a combination of rare features. So what makes this coin so special? Let's break it down. First, this specific quarter was believed to have been struck on the wrong planchet, possibly a silver planchet or a foreign coin blank. That alone makes it a significant mint error, as planchet errors are extremely rare and highly collectible. But that wasn't the only issue. The coin also reportedly showed signs of a double die error, meaning certain features on the obverse appeared to be duplicated or doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process. Now combine those two rare traits with an incredibly high grade. We're talking MS68 or even higher, and you have a one-of-a-kind coin. When a coin is both rare in design and flawless in condition, collectors and investors are willing to pay big money. In this case, sources suggest the coin changed hands in a private transaction for more than $1 million, making it one of the most valuable modern quarters ever known. So how can you tell if your 1997 D quarter is worth more than pocket change? Here are a few things to look for. Start by examining the coin's surface and design elements closely. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Check the lettering on the obverse, especially the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Look for any signs of doubling, shadows, or unusual outlines. If Washington's profile appears to have any duplicated features, you may be looking at a double die variety. Next, weigh the coin. A standard copper-nickel clad quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs significantly less or more, it may have been struck on the wrong planchet. That is a major clue and should not be ignored. Also pay attention to the rim and edges. Off-center strikes, weak reading, or broad strikes can all be signs of minting errors. Sometimes these small mistakes make a coin thousands of times more valuable than its face value. And most importantly, consider the condition of your coin. A coin's grade is one of the biggest factors in its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. Anything in the range of MS65 or higher is considered mint state, and the higher the grade, the higher the price. If you believe your coin is in exceptionally good shape, and especially if it has any visible errors, it might be worth having it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. Now let's be real. Not every 1997 D quarter is going to make you a millionaire. In fact, most will not. But there are many error coins from that year that have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Whether it's an off-metal strike, a double die, or a high-grade specimen, there is potential value hiding in plain sight. And that's what makes coin collecting so exciting. Sometimes the rarest coins are the ones that seem the most ordinary. They pass through our hands, drop into parking meters, and sit unnoticed in drawers for years. But to a trained eye, those coins can tell a story, and sometimes that story ends with a huge payday. The 1997 D Washington quarter that reportedly sold for $1.1 million may be a once-in-a-lifetime find. But stories like these are what fuel the passion of collectors around the world. They remind us to pay attention, to look closely, and to never underestimate what might be hiding in everyday change. So before you spend that next quarter, take a good look. It might be worth a lot more than you think. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next upload. We bring you stories of rare coins, collecting tips, and all the hidden gems the hobby has to offer. You have a 1997 D quarter in your collection? Have you found any coin errors recently? Drop your stories in the comments. We love hearing from you. Until next time, stay curious, keep checking your change, and remember, one coin can change everything. Let me know if you'd like help with writing your YouTube video description, tags, thumbnail text, or follow-up video ideas related to rare coin finds.